A teenage boy is caught on CCTV leaving London's King's Cross station. He is never seen again. This is the disappearance of Andrew Gosden. Let's step into the cold. Kevin Gosden can easily recall the moment the Madeleine McCann case started being reported on the news. In an interview, Kevin recalled watching a news report about the little girl's disappearance with his 14-year-old son, Andrew. Kevin said, "I can still remember when the Madeleine McCann case was breaking in the news. I was sitting on the sofa next to Andrew and going, 'That's every parent's worst nightmare.' And he said, 'Yeah, must be awful for them.' 4 months later, Andrew had vanished." Andrew Paul Gosden was born in Doncaster, South Yorkshire, England, on the 10th of July, 1993. He was born to Kevin and Glenys Gosden, who both worked as speech therapists. Kevin and Glenys are Christians, but they placed great importance on their children's right to choose their own path in life. Andrew and his sister Charlotte were bright, and both did particularly well at maths. Andrew was taking part in a government-sponsored programme to stretch the top 5% of school students, and he had been predicted to earn A's in his GCSE examinations. The family lived in Balby, a suburb of Doncaster, but regularly spent time visiting London, where they had family. By the time Andrew turned 14, he was 5 foot 3 inches tall, had straight brown hair, and had a distinctive double ridge on his right ear. He needs to wear glasses and is deaf in one ear. Andrew loved to read, The Lord of the Rings and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy being particular favourites. And then there was his love of music. Andrew enjoyed listening to Muse, Slipknot and Marilyn Manson, among others. The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin, a TV show in which the main character fakes his own death, was also a favourite. Andrew liked to be at home, and on the odd occasion that he left the house, he would say where he was going. But on the 14th of September 2007, Andrew did something his family wasn't expecting. That September day was a school day. Andrew slept in, which was unusual for him, and he was in a grumpy mood. He eventually got ready for school and left home to catch his school bus at the usual time. He attended Macaulay Catholic High School, where he had a 100% attendance record. His family didn't realise that when Andrew walked out of the door that morning, it would be the last time they ever saw him. That evening, Charlotte Gosden was in her bedroom working on her new laptop when she was asked to call Andrew for the family's evening meal. Charlotte headed to the converted cellar, where she expected to find her brother playing on his game console. Andrew wasn't there. Thinking Andrew must be in his room, Charlotte checked there. Andrew wasn't there either. What Charlotte did find in his room was Andrew's school blazer and tie. After discovering Andrew's school shirt and trousers in the washing machine, the Gosdens raised the alarm. Andrew would have been reported missing sooner had it not been for a wrong number. Andrew's school had noticed that he hadn't arrived that day. Concerned, staff tried to contact Andrew's parents, but a misdial on the phone meant that the school called the wrong number. Andrew's disappearance wouldn't be reported until that evening. At the start of the investigation, the police focused their attention on the Gosdens. Wasteland close to the family home was searched. The Gosdens, however, were aware that a neighbour had CCTV cameras installed on their home, and they asked their neighbour to see if the cameras had caught anything odd that day. The cameras filmed Andrew returning home that morning after his sister had left for school and after his parents had headed out to work. At home, Andrew changed out of his school uniform and dressed in a black slip-knot t-shirt, black jeans and trainers. When he left the house again, he took with him a black bag with Rock Band patches on it and his PSP, minus the charger. Then an employee at Doncaster railway station came forward with information. After withdrawing £200 from his bank account, Andrew headed to the station and bought a one-way ticket to London. The employee remembered serving Andrew and noted that Andrew seemed too small to be travelling to London by himself. The ticket seller also remembered Andrew because he had refused to buy a return ticket, even though it only cost a fraction more than a single ticket. A passenger later reported sitting opposite Andrew on the train as far as Peterborough. After Andrew took the 9:35 a.m. train to London's King's Cross station, he was recorded by security cameras leaving the station by the main entrance. This is the last confirmed sighting of Andrew. The Gosden family became critical of the police during the initial investigation. They felt that the police had focused on them too much at the start, even when evidence began to emerge that Andrew seemingly left home on his own accord. The security footage at King's Cross wasn't checked until Andrew had been missing for 27 days. By this point, the Doncaster station employee had come forward and there had been sightings of Andrew in Pizza Hut on Oxford Street. The South Yorkshire Police responded to this criticism by saying that they asked the British Transport Police to search CCTV footage within 2 days of Andrew disappearing, but the British Transport Police couldn't pick Andrew out from the crowds. The South Yorkshire Police later sent an officer to London to review the footage, and Andrew was spotted. Initial searches in London concentrated on the Chislehurst and Sidcup areas, where some of Andrew's relatives lived. But the sightings of Andrew in central London weren't followed up on immediately. A woman who believed she'd seen Andrew in Covent Garden wasn't spoken to for 6 weeks. Andrew's DNA, fingerprints and medical records were sent to various agencies, but it took 5 years for Andrew to be listed on the Interpol website. The Gosdens took an active role in trying to find Andrew. They put up posters at Andrew's favourite places to visit in London. Leaflets were handed out at a Muse concert when the band played at the O2. A family friend who ran a car dealership offered a free sports car to anyone who had information about Andrew. But the agony of not knowing what happened to Andrew began to take its toll. Andrew's parents and his sister have all seen counsellors, and in 2008, Kevin tried to take his own life. On the first anniversary of Andrew's disappearance, the Gosdens placed flowers at the site of Andrew's last confirmed sighting and attended a service at St. James's Church in Piccadilly. At the time, Kevin said, "This is our final big push to find Andrew. Not to say that we actually will never do anything else, but we feel that he may have changed in appearance. In some respects, we also need to get a bit of closure for ourselves by saying, "We have done our best for you, son." But the Gosdens continued to work hard at keeping Andrew in the public eye. In October 2008, the supermarket Iceland included Andrew in a campaign to find missing people. Several missing people had their stories featured on the supermarket's milk cartons. A series of similar but limited appeals were featured on milk cartons between 1997 and 2006. Of 130 people featured, 30 were found. Hopes were raised the following month when a man visited LEOMINSTER police station, saying he had information about Andrew. As the visit took place during the evening, the man used an intercom system to speak to a police officer as the reception wasn't manned. When an officer arrived to take details, the man had gone. The police appealed to the man, asking for him to get in touch, but he has never been heard from again. Around the second anniversary, aged progress pictures of Andrew aged 16 were released and put up around London. Then, in May 2011, the family paid a private company to carry out a sonar search of the River Thames. Nothing was found. Kevin and Glenys appealed to the public again on the BBC TV show Panorama in 2016. Slowly but surely, the 10th anniversary of Andrew's disappearance was approaching. The police appealed again on the 10th anniversary. The family spent the 14th of September 2017 raising money at Doncaster train station by holding a sponsored silence. The silence lasted 10 hours, 1 hour for each year Andrew had been missing. £2,737.50 was raised. In the same year as the 10th anniversary, a Reddit user believed they had found Andrew in footage taken from a London YouTube convention in 2007. Reddit users were split on if it is Andrew in the footage. Kevin Gosden doesn't believe it is his son. A 4chan user discussed how he knows someone he thinks could be Andrew. If it is Andrew, he is now based in Wales and goes by a different name. 10 years on, there is still no sign of Andrew, and his reason for leaving remains unclear. Did he leave home to start a new life? The withdrawal of £200 from his bank account has led some to think he wanted a new start, but Andrew left his birthday money at home. Was he questioning his sexuality, or was he experiencing problems with his mental health? Did he travel to London to trade his PSP? Those who think this theory is unlikely point out that Andrew left the PSP's charger at home. Kevin has wondered if Andrew was taken by a paedophile gang, and some online discussions have favoured this theory. The police checked his sister's laptop and the family computer and found no indication Andrew met someone online and was lured to London. It's believed that the Sony's servers were checked to see if Andrew was talking to someone through his PSP. The police have kept the console's box and serial number in case the PSP is found. Did Andrew go to London to see the band's Sixth? Andrew was wearing a Slipknot shirt when he went missing. Sixth have often played with Slipknot, and Sixth were playing a show in London the day Andrew disappeared. Finally, his family have wondered if Andrew was so intelligent that he couldn't cope with the idea of GCSE and A-level examinations. In an interview, his mother Glenys said, "He didn't want to be pigeonholed. He wanted to step outside of it all, almost as though he was taking an early gap year." While the Gosdens still search for Andrew, they have made some attempts to get some form of closure. Andrew's bedroom has been redecorated. His clothes are kept in drawers, and his rock and gem collection sits on a shelf as a reminder of the huge hole Andrew has left in the family. Kevin Gosden has written a poem in which he speaks about his hope that Andrew will one day be found. The poem became the basis for a single by the charity Missing People, which went on to reach number 10 in the Amazon charts. Kevin has also discussed how there should be a separate organisation outside of the police whose sole purpose is to look for missing people. Kevin thinks this because the police are used to investigating crimes and may treat a case as a crime even if no crime has been committed. Andrew's 24th birthday happened in summer 2017. He is currently one of the faces of the Missing People charity's Find Every Child campaign. But two questions haunt his family to this very day. Why did Andrew travel to London that September day? Where is Andrew?